And a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, from Ulysses, Kansas. My name is Ian Ballinger, the Director of Digital Media and Digital Media Technology here at Scott City High School, and the Digital Media Teacher at Scott City High School. And we're here for Scott City JV Girls Basketball against the Ulysses Tigers. Apologies for starting the stream later than expected. The game was set to start at 4:30, and they actually ended up starting the game at about 4:23, so a little earlier than expected. Scott City currently leading 9-6 here over the Tigers of Ulysses. Ulysses tries to get the jump shot, misses, rebounded by Scott City, and the Beavers are in transition. Working around the perimeter over to the right wing, back up top to the left wing. And a foul called on Ulysses, a bump foul. 2:05 left in the first quarter. Scott City to inbound. Back out the perimeter, Scott City for three. Bounces off the rim, rebounded by Ulysses. And stolen by the Beavers. A 3-on-1 play goes nowhere as they're fouled. And it's Ulysses' ball on the travel. Eleven to 6 Beavers here late in the first quarter. 1:15 to go in the quarter. And a foul on the Beavers. Ulysses to inbound. Ulysses pump fakes. Drives in, kicks it back out for three. And it's airballed, rebound by Scott City. Stolen by Ulysses in transition. Double team, though, in the corner. Passes, and they get it out the break. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Ulysses tries to three. Banks rims out. Rebounded by Ulysses. And they score, and they end their scoring drought. Scott City was on a 7-0 run. And it's 8-11. Working around the perimeter. At the right wing, she's trapped. Back up top for three. And it's nothing but net, and that's going to give Scott City a 6-point lead. It's 14-8. Ulysses, the layup, good. 10 seconds to go here in the first. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. They kick it out, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to go back to Ulysses with 2 seconds left on the game clock. And time expires before she's able to get it off, and that's going to end the first quarter. Scott City with a 4-point lead. The Lady Beavers starting out strong here in JV basketball. Second quarter starts soon. You're watching Scott City Lady Beavers JV basketball on BBN TV. Back here in the second quarter, Scott City with the slim lead, 14-10. The JV girls are playing in this gym, and over in the auxiliary gym here at Ulysses High School is the C-Team girls game. That's being broadcasted on our Facebook page. Scott City with the defensive rebound, and they're in transition. Almost stolen by Ulysses, and it's going to go to bounds, and they're going to say last touched by the Tigers. No, they're going to say last touched by the Beavers, and they're going to give it to the Ulysses Tigers. Quite the call by this officiating crew as Ulysses attempts a three, and it rims out and is rebounded by the Lady Beavers. Scott City tries to bank shot, no good. Rebounded by the Beavers, and a foul, and they're going to go to the line for two. Two shots for the Lady Beavers. First shot up. And bounces off the front of the rim and out. Exactly 7 minutes on the game clock, 1 minute in. No score here in the second quarter. Still tied up 0-0 here in the second quarter. 14-10 is your score. Second free throw up. Nothing but net. Beavers strike first here in the second quarter, and it's 15-10. Tigers in transition. Almost stolen by the Beavers. A fantastic defensive play. Three-point shot up and no good. Fighting for the rebound. They're going to say last touch by the Beavers. Ulysses to inbound. Foul on the Beavers. This is going to be a foul shot. Two shots for the Tigers now. First shot up, and it rims out. The second also rims out. And they say last touch by the Lady Tigers. No, last touch by the Lady Beavers. Are you kidding me? And so the Tigers get another break, and they're going to get their shot at a score. No good. And this time they get it right. And it's Scott City Lady Beavers basketball. Tigers still yet to strike here in the second quarter as the Lady Beavers move it up in transition, working it around the perimeter. Almost stolen by the Tigers. Lady Beavers and on the double team, the Tigers get the steal. But they get her for a carry, and that's going to go right back to the Beavers. A pass inside, picked off by the Lady Tigers, and Ulysses in transition. The three is good, and that ends a 3-minute scoring drought for Ulysses. And just like that, it's 13-15, and Scott City's 5-point lead is cut to 2. Top of the perimeter to the right, inside, back to the top, and a foul on Ulysses. And that's going to get a fresh body in for Scott City. The bounce pass inbounds on the left side of the perimeter. They work it back out up top. Pass inside, back out to the right, and saved it from going out of bounds. To the left, Off her knee, almost lost it, gets it back, regains control. Scott City for three. No good. Rebounded by Ulysses. And the Lady Tigers back in transition. But she gives it up. She bounces the dribble off her knee, and it's Scott City in transition. To the top of the key. To the left. The shot. No good. To the top of the perimeter, I should say. A bad pass inside, and Scott City's in transition. The lay-in is good, and Scott City strikes again. It's 17-13. 3.5 minutes passed here in the second quarter. 4:30 to go in the half. Shot up. And it's good. Another three for Ulysses, and that cuts the Scott City lead to 1. Lady Beavers passes it inside. Tries to get it back out to the top of the perimeter, but it's picked off. Ulysses in transition. It's 2-on-2, and Scott City gets the steal. But they call a foul on Ulysses, and that's going to stop the double-team trap in the corner. And Scott City's going to inbounds it down on the baseline. To the left. Passes it inside. Good pass. Back out to the perimeter. Back out to the top of the perimeter. Passes it back out inside. .330 left to go in the half. Scott City with the 1-point lead. Back here in Ulysses, Kansas, Scott City with the 1-point lead. Ulysses thought about the three, decided against it, worked it to the left side. That's a 2-pointer, but Scott City loses their lead, and Ulysses takes their first lead of the game. It's 18-17. In transition, the Lady Beavers, they work it inside to the top of the perimeter. Baseball pass to the left side. Tries to pass it in. The air ball rebounded by the Lady Beavers. And it's going to stay on this side of the court. Substitution for the Lady Beavers after this first foul shot. Nope, they're going to let him in now. First shot up. And it's no good. Rebounded by the Lady Beavers, and they get it. And that makes up for the missed foul shot. Beavers retake the lead, 19-18. 2:43 left to go in the half. The wild pass goes left. And it's regained by Scott City. Back out to the top of the perimeter, to the right, down in the right corner. To the wing, to the top. Pass to the left corner. She drives in, passes it in, wide open shot, no good. Bounces off the rim, and it's rebounded by Ulysses. And Ulysses gets the shot, and they call it a three, and that's going to make it 21-19. Lady Beavers, no one there to inbound, so they baseball pass it in. Ulysses drives in, kicks it back out to the corner. Number one for Ulysses drives in, kicks it back out to the corner. Errant pass is going to go out of bounds, and Scott City's going to get the ball back. With 1:20 to go here in the first half, Scott City trails by 2. Previously, they were leading by 5. Lady Beavers trying to make one final push before the end of the half. The shot, that was a three, no good. Rebounded by the Beavers. A great offensive rebound is going to tie this game up at 21. And Ulysses tries the three, no good. And we're still all tied up here at 21 with 50 seconds to go in the half. And the ball is picked off by Ulysses. Foul on Scott City. And they'll inbounds on the other end of the court, about where the foul occurred. 2 Lady Beavers subbing in. And in the final 45 seconds, Scott City either wants to tie or they want to take the lead here in this JV matchup. Over in the auxiliary gym again is the boys C team game. You can watch that game here on the BBN TV Facebook page. That's facebook.com/BBNTV12. Want to thank our students, faculty members, all of them working so hard to bring you high school sports this year, volunteering their time outside of school, working harder than ever to bring you Scott City sports this year. Our students working harder than ever to play sports this year. You have to appreciate the effort by everybody in the Scott City school system. So the foul on Ulysses with 21 seconds to go here in the half is going to give Scott City an opportunity for 2. For shut up, and it rims out. Second shot. And it's no good, but almost picked her pocket. 15 seconds to go, and Ulysses might hold for the final shot here. 10 seconds. Ulysses drives in, tries to get the shot off. It's blocked by Scott City. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Half-court shot, no good. And we go to halftime. Here in Ulysses, all tied up. 21-21. You're watching Scott City Lady Beavers junior varsity basketball here on the Beaver Broadcasting Network. We'll be right back. Back here in what they call the Tiger's Cave here in Ulysses, Kansas. Scott City, Ulysses tied up at 21 here at the start of the second half. First shot by Ulysses is no good, and a defensive rebound by the Lady Beavers puts Scott City in transition. They work it to the top of the perimeter, back to the left. Almost back to the top. She wasn't expecting that pass, and it's almost stolen. Scott City regains control. Scott City drives in, tries to kick it back out, but it's deflected by the Lady Tigers, and Scott City will inbound on the baseline. Stolen by Ulysses. Almost loses the handle. Wasn't expecting that pass either. And Scott City back in transition. It's 3-on-1. So nothing doing, and they kick it back out to the perimeter to set up a play. To the right, almost stolen by Ulysses. Drives in, passes it to the right, and it's stolen by Ulysses. And here in the second half, about a minute and a half in, we're currently scoreless. Ulysses to the right, a wide open three. She doesn't take it. And they kick it back up to the top of the perimeter. To the right wing, shot up. Airballed the three, goes out of bounds, and Scott City JV is going to get the ball back. Bring it up to the top of the perimeter, up on the court. To the corner, deflected, and Scott City's going to keep it. Kick to the left, shot up in the corner, and that's a three-pointer, and it's good. Scott City strikes first 2 minutes into the second half, and it's 24-21. Scott City JV game here in the main gym here at Ulysses High School. C-team game for the boys is going on over in the auxiliary gym. That game being live streamed, just a reminder, on our Facebook live stream. That's facebook.com/BBNTV12, or just search in your Facebook search bar, Beaver Broadcasting Network. On the Scott City foul, Ulysses going to the foul line. 5:45 left here in the third quarter. Scott City with the slim three-point lead, 24-21. First shot up, and it's good. Ulysses trying to cut into Scott City's lead here. And they'll do just that with the second foul shot. And it's 24-22, Scott City. To your left side, to the corner, to the inside, back up to the top of the perimeter, back to the corner, tries to drive in, goes nowhere. Top of the perimeter to the right side. Scott City with great ball movement, the Lady Beavers, kick it up for three. And this one's no good, and it's rebounded by the Lady Tigers of Ulysses. Lady Tigers try a three from the corner, and it's no good, but they get their own offensive rebound. And they kick it to the left side corner, up to the top of the perimeter, and it's stolen by Scott City. It's one-on-one in transition. She tries the lay-in, and it's no good, but she's going to get fouled, and she'll go to the foul line for two with 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. A lot of grit here on this Lady Beavers basketball team. Even on the JV side. Excited to see what the C team and varsity are able to do. The C team girls game is going to be in the auxiliary gym, so you can watch that game on our Facebook page on Facebook Live. And we'll be covering the varsity boys and varsity girls games here in the main gym. Shot up, no good. And it's 23-25. Scott City to inbounds. And they're telling them to inbound on the baseline. No, they're saying it's Ulysses' ball. Beg your pardon. There's been a couple calls where it's gone one way and then they decide another in this game. But that's okay. We appreciate all of our Kansas high school activities referees. We know they do the job no one else wants to do. Traveling all over the state. Throws up a three, no good. And it's rebounded by Scott City, ripped away from the Ulysses player, and Scott City's in transition. To the right, pump fakes, back out to the top. To the left, almost picked off by Ulysses. To the right, to the corner. Thinks about the three, decides against it. And they work it back around the perimeter. To the corner, what a pass. Great foresight, but it's no good. Almost saved by Ulysses. If she had just let that go, that would have been last touch on Scott City and be Ulysses' ball, but Scott City's going to retain possession. Nearly 5 minutes into this third quarter. To the right. To the left. To the top of the perimeter. Back to the left. Almost tipped. Shot up. Mid-range, no good. And it's rebounded by Ulysses after the scuffle, and they're in transition. Top of the key. To the right. To the right corner. To the inside. Picked off by Scott City. They're fighting for it. She's in transition. She's got a wide open lane and too strong off the backboard, and Ulysses gets the ball back off the defensive rebound. A little too strong in transition. And we're still at 25-23. Coming up on 2:30 left in the third quarter. Shot up, that would have tied it, no good. Gets her own rebound, and that does tie it. And we're back tied. Went into halftime tied 21-21. To the right. Bounces it off the Ulysses player's knee. Out of bounds. And it's going to stay on this side of the court. Tipped out by Ulysses, and they're going to try the inbounds again. Bounces it off her own knee mistakenly. Regains control. Looks for a teammate, finds her. And it's almost stolen by Ulysses. Regains control, breaks past them, and that draws the foul. And they'll inbounds on the baseline. A bad inbounds pass, and it's stolen by Ulysses. And last touch by Ulysses. Jumping up for the rebound. Nobody there to inbounds for Scott City. Player comes down. And they get the inbounds with no problem. To the left, to the inside. Stolen by Ulysses again. Scott City almost steals it back. They do. And it's stolen by Ulysses again. One man in transition. And instead of going for the layup, she pulls up for the jumper. And it rims out. But off a Scott City player, it's going to stay here. To the corner, wide open three. Air balls, rebounded by Scott City. And the Lady Beavers, with 65 seconds to go in the third quarter, taking it slow. Or not, for three. No good. Rebounded by Ulysses. And you can tell that these players are gassed right now. The Ulysses players moving a little slower. Both of these teams been fighting so hard, tied here at 25 with 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. The air ball jumper is going to go back to Scott City. And they're going to fight for it. They're going to call it a jump ball. Possession points towards Scott City with 30 seconds to go. So Scott City's going to inbound on the baseline. Looking for a lady. Finds her at the top of the perimeter, but she's not open. And they work it around. 20 seconds to go in this quarter. To the left, to the corner. 15. And a foul on Ulysses with 15.3 sitting on the game clock. To the corner. Shot up. That might be a shooting foul with 11 seconds to go in the quarter. And it is. She's going to shoot two. With the first shot in, that gives Scott City the lead with 11 seconds in the third. She gets both, and it's 27-25. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds. To the top of the perimeter, looking for a lady. Not much time. 1 second, the shot. No good. And Scott City's going to go into the fourth and hopefully final quarter with a 2-point lead, 27-25. Want to take the time to thank all of our generous sponsors for their support of Beaver Broadcasting Network broadcast. We aren't able to broadcast without them. You can see down on the ticker on the bottom of your screen our sponsors and the Booster Club. Want to give a special thank you to the Booster Club for Scott City, for their generous support, for everything they do for the Scott City community, for Scott County, for our schools, for our students especially. It's all for our students. It's all for our students. So. Over in the auxiliary gym, the C-Team boys currently facing the C-Team boys for Ulysses. They're in the third quarter. And they lead 35-28. Fourth quarter here in Ulysses, Kansas. Beavers with a 2-point lead. Kicks it to the left. Back up to the top of the perimeter. Back down to the right. To the corner. And they get the shot off of a great offensive possession for the Ulysses Ladies Tigers. Great ball movement for the Tigers. Scott City in the left corner. And it's stolen by Ulysses. Scott City back in transition. The jumper's no good, mid-range jumper. And Ulysses is back in transition. Tipped by Scott City. And trying to grab it, the Ulysses player is going to be the last one to touch it, and it's going to be Scott City basketball. Tries to pass it inside, but it tips back out by the Lady Tigers, and the Lady Beavers set back up. 2 minutes into this fourth quarter from Ulysses, Kansas. What a move by the Lady Beavers. Went around her, and that gives Scott City a 2-point lead yet again, and it's 29-27 with 6 minutes to go. Great offensive possession for the Lady Beavers. Great ball movement. What a pass. It's a little too strong, and Scott City, off the attempted save by Ulysses, is going to get the ball back, and they're going to get fouled. And they call a foul on Ulysses. And Scott City will inbound on their own baseline. And off the inbounds pass, Ulysses gets the steal. On the other end of the court, two Ulysses players wide open, but they weren't seen. They'll try for a three instead and miss. And Scott City will get the rebound. Ulysses playing defense a little tighter than they were before. Scott City still able to get the ball down court. And at the 5-minute mark, Lady Beavers with a 2-point lead. Works it inside. Does. Tries the shot. It's tipped by Ulysses on the block. And Scott City's going to get to keep the ball. A couple turnovers on inbounds passes. We'll see if Scott City can get it in here. And pass back to the left wing, and a foul called on Ulysses. And Scott City's in the bonus, so they're going to get a 1-and-1 shot here. Seventh foul for the Lady Tigers. Put Scott City at the line for a 1-and-1, and the first shot is no good, and Ulysses is going to chase down that rebound. Back to the top of the perimeter. Shot up from the free throw line, and it's good, and we're tied back up at 29. Very fast-moving game, under an hour, and we're already at the 4-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Stolen, and she's got a wide-open lane. Ulysses shot up, no good, too strong on the layup. And they get the rebound, and they're able to get it back outside before Scott City can collapse on him. The shot, no good! And that would have given Ulysses the lead. Halfway down. And it comes back out, and Scott City gets a break. Under 4 minutes here in Ulysses. They called a foul on Ulysses on the rebound attempt in the scuffle. And Scott City, in the bonus, is going to get another 1-and-1. 1 foul for the Lady Beavers, 8 for Ulysses. The 3 by Ulysses is no good. It's rebounded. We'll see who they say it's last touched by. They say it's last touched by the Tigers, and Scott City's going to get the ball back. And we're still stuck at 29. The shot up is no good, but she gets her own rebound. Tries for another shot. Last touch by the Tigers. The inbounds pass right below the basket, no good. And at the 3-minute mark here in the fourth quarter, we're still tied at 29. Only 4 points scored between the two teams here in the fourth quarter. Jumper. No. Rebounded. Fights for it. Jump ball, and it's going to go back to... It should be staying here with Ulysses. I thought the possession arrow was facing Scott City's way at the last jump ball. But that was before halftime. That's my bad. Shot is airballed, but Scott City gets the rebound. And she rolled over, so they call it a travel, and that's going to be Ulysses' ball. Ulysses shot up. Almost carried it. Jump ball again. This time it will stay with the Tigers. Okay, so there was a mistake because they've given Scott City the ball off a jump ball 3 straight times. So there was a discrepancy at one point. Not complaining. We love our we love our Scott City. Stolen by Scott City. Still tied here at 29. We're coming up on the 90-second mark here in the fourth quarter. Kicks it to the right. The three-pointer is going to rim out, and Ulysses is going to get the ball back with under 90 to go here in the game. Call foul. And that's going to take us to a timeout. First time out of the game. Called on the Beavers. Over in the C-Team gym, Scott City boys leading 43-34. And they're late in the fourth quarter as well. They started about the same time as the girls' game. Both of these games were set to start at 4:30. The Scott City boys started at 4:30. But for some reason, here in the girls' gym, the main gym, they started at about 4:22, 4:23. So a little earlier than we anticipated. We apologize for missing the first couple minutes of the game. We were expecting a little more time for setup. The jumper by Ulysses is no good. And coming up at the 60-second mark, a minute to go here in the fourth quarter, and we're still tied at 29. Scott City in transition. They kick it to the right. They kick it to the corner. They kick it inside. Shot up. No good. Rims out. Can't buy a bucket. Neither team can buy a bucket. 45 seconds. Ulysses kicks it back to the top of the perimeter. Scott City playing loose defense. Shot up. No. Back it to the right. Back to the corner. Shot up. No, airballed, and she gets a slap on the arm. And with 29 seconds to go, Ulysses is going to go to the foul line for 2. Went for the block and hacked her on the arm. And Ulysses is going to get a shot at taking the lead here late in regulation. First shot up. Rims out. 29 seconds to go. Scott City tied with Ulysses at 29. One foul shot to go. And it hits the front of the iron. Scott City gets the rebound, and they can hold for the final shot here. Tight D by Ulysses. Top of the perimeter, wide open shot. Takes it. No good. Saved by Scott City. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Scott City going for the last shot. Loses the ball. I think she thought it was poked out. And with 3 seconds to go, Ulysses is going to have to go basically the length of the court. And a timeout by the Lady Tigers. With 3 seconds to go. An exciting JV game. Just a reminder, the C-Team girls will be over in the auxiliary gym for our next game. We'll be covering the varsity girls here in the main gym. You can watch the C-Team girls game on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BBNTV12. And speaking of the varsity girls, they just came out of the locker room. And they're coming over to watch their teammates. As they get ready for a 6:30 tip-off against the varsity girls for Ulysses. Three seconds to go. Inbounding from the sideline. Gets it in. 2 seconds. 1 second. They say it counts, but it was clearly in her hand after the shot went off. But they're going to give her the points. And in heartbreaking fashion, Ulysses is going to take the victory off a questionable call. more than certain the ball was still in her hand as the buzzer went off. Both teams fought incredibly hard. Absolutely nothing for the Lady Beavers JV team to be ashamed about. That was a great game. And so your final for the Scott City JV team, Ulysses JV 32, Scott City JV 29. We'll be back for the varsity girls here on BBN TV. That game we're going to get on NFHS, D Live, and YouTube, and you can watch the C-Team girls over in the auxiliary gym on Facebook Live.